Stacy. How's everybody?
Great!
All right. Penn State's up 14-0, by the way.
24-0.
24-0. All right.
31-0.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
The name of my talk is called Dare to Prepare. Dare to Prepare. So, you've decided that you want to be a manager with our company. The question is, how do I get there? What I want to tell you is that there are a lot more people in this room than we had last year. And that attests to what an amazing summer we are coming off of. And what does that mean for you? The first thing that means for you is being a part of something very special in 2010. 2010, and the summer of 2010, the Southwest region will explode. And the decisions that you make now are going to determine what role you're going to be able to play in that explosive growth that our region is about to experience. Look at the talent in this room. Our candidates are better prepared now than they were last summer, or excuse me, at the end of last summer. You know, when we asked that question last year, how many of you have run your first interview or are starting to learn the interview or have been to a couple manager preps, far less hands were raised last year than they were this year. And that's super exciting. The first thing, as I said, is be a part of something very special. The second thing it means for you is that the competition is very thick. The competition is extremely thick. In order to become a branch or a district, it takes work. This is not something you can coast into. Now, it's not overwhelming if you handle it the right way, which is what my talk is really about. So let's write down how to prepare for the summer of your life. I have 6 points, and I'll go into each of them individually, but the first one is commitment. The second one is positive attitude. Third one is balance. Number 4 is goals. Number 5, persistence. And number 6 is having fun in the process. So when I say those are the 6 keys, each of those keys are very important. But in order to unlock the door to your office next May, you need all 6 keys. So let's start with number 1, the first key, commitment. The longer you take to commit to this, the further behind you will lag in your training. This is not a talk on the branch or district manager opportunity. If you're not set yet, God help you. Just grab time with some of our summer champions either today or tomorrow. Grab a couple minutes of their time and ask them about their experience. And that's all the opportunity talk that you're going to need to hear. At the same time, the quicker you commit, the more enjoyable the ride becomes and the more you'll get out of the process at some of these meetings and preps. So, along with key number 1, how to commit. Let's look at some of the ways that you can commit and some of the ways that you can show your manager that you're committed. Number 1 is your branch or district savings funds. Adam talked plenty about that, and that's great. Just a quick plug, everybody who gets their $450 in at this meeting, okay, at this conference, as long as you get your $450 in management savings, the region will match that $450 with an extra $150 when you open up your office next summer. That is an awesome return on investment, and it's the region's commitment to you and to helping you with your savings. And it's really the region's way of rewarding you for starting your savings habits off on the right foot. So number 1 way to commit, number one ways to show that you are committed is by increasing your management funds. Number 2 way to commit is your attendance at these preps. Divisionally, locally, in your local office, regionally, never missing a meeting. Amy talked about that this morning. Number 3, conferences, division meetings. We have the Olean trip. These are all different ways to show your commitment. Number 4 will be personal sales. That's another way to show that you're committed. Sometimes you sell a lot because you need to, other times you sell a lot because you should. And no matter what your situation is like, some of you are coming off of a summer where you made some pretty great money, and maybe the urgency is not there to sell personally as much as maybe somebody else in your management training class. You're somebody who should do it because you should and because you need to be a good role model and because you want to increase your branch funds. There's some other people in the room who maybe should have heard Adam's talk before the summer, right? Yeah. iTunes Masters. And for you, you want to put yourself in a position of financial stability so that when you're saving money, you feel good about it. Number 5, along with showing your commitment, is keep learning. Take a lot of notes. So be a leader in note-taking. You know, going back to management funds, be a leader in terms of management funds. Think of it as a competition. Can you save more than anybody else? It's never enough, by the way. You don't ever want to feel pressured with money when you're running an office. You know, especially, you can imagine being all excited, you're all trained at your first summer, and you got a training class in front of you, and maybe you don't have the amount saved that your goal was, and you're looking at your training, and you're like, all right, you're how I'm paying my electric bill, you're how I'm paying my cell phone bill, you better rock because you're paying my rent, right? You don't want to feel that way. You want to run training because this could be your future assistant manager. This could be your future branch manager. This could be somebody who you could change their life if you run their training the right way. And you want to have the right mindset, and you don't want finances to play a part of that. And having a lot of money saved is one of those is the biggest way to do that. Cash and confidence. Never enough. If 2 candidates are equal, the one with more money saved will most likely get priority. And the reason is because there is a direct correlation with the amount of money you can have saved and your summer success. Somebody with more money saved might have more opportunities as far as sending extra mailers, right? Taking advantage of different advertising opportunities that maybe somebody without that money might not be able to take advantage of. Here we have Jared Timmons has over $8,000 saved so far in district manager funds. Awesome. Alex Webster, $11,000 saved. Awesome. I know there's plenty more examples than those. That's pretty exciting so far. Really exciting. Next thing, attendance at events. It's pretty obvious why. The more you show your face, the better off you are. It might not feel like a big deal to miss an event. It is a big deal to miss an event. Sometimes you need the meeting, other times the meeting needs you. Either way, you got to be there. Personal sales around your school and your office work. I'll tell you what, if you're the person who comes to your manager and says, I don't have enough time to sell and work in the office and do well in school, really what you're telling your manager is you don't know if you have the capacity to be a manager that next summer. Because when you're a manager next summer, you have a lot of things on your plate. You might not have school next summer for a lot of you, but there's a lot of things on your plate. So show your professionalism, show your capacity, show your maturity to get it all done and be good with time management. Find a way. Shows your commitment. How are you going to teach a representative how to overcome obstacles or time management issues next summer if you've never overcome those same issues yourself? During the fall and spring is really your opportunity to expand your personal capacity so that you can become a better coach and manager for people who go through the same things in the future. How can you teach it if you've never done it yourself? And lastly, keep learning under that same banner of commitment. Keep learning. Taking a lot of notes. Start taking notes on how talks are delivered. That was something that I started doing as a management candidate, right? Like I had heard like 17 phone talks, right? So I started taking notes on how those talks were delivered and the types of content and how those talks were structured. Start with a story, start with a quote, start with a joke, right? And I started taking notes along the side margins of my notes